What exactly are you doing here?
I'm just going through my mail.
Yeah. What's
Here.
this enormous pile of letters?
Well, I get a lot of
stamped?
junk mail because I put myself on a master list.
Yeah.
And I've been collecting, and it's like a hobby. You know?
I think that it's gone a little too far. The amount of mail that comes into this house. I think it's getting to be an intrusion.
A mistake.
But I think you need to write them and tell them to stop sending you junk mail.
The best sign of a cozy show is if you can watch it with your eyes closed. One of those shows that you watch in the flicker of the night when it's only you, a cozy bed, and you're under like 15 blankets just chilling right there. That's when you turn on Dr. Katz Professional Therapist. Now, I've watched a lot of cozy shows in my day, but Dr. Katz takes it to a whole new level. I dare say it might be the most cozy show ever made.
When you talk about friction in your marriage, what kinds of things cause friction?
He doesn't understand that I have to talk to my girlfriend on the phone every single day. He'll say, "Why do you have to talk to her again today? You just talked to her yesterday. What could you possibly have to tell her?"
Yeah.
I say, "For one thing, I have to tell her you just said that."
For one, it's incredibly low budget. Every one of these episodes looks like it took about $200 to produce, and the technology that they use, Squiggle Vision, gave it a little bit more animation. Now, I wouldn't even say this is an animated show, rather it's just a bunch of like slideshows. It's like a PowerPoint presentation with a bit of witty dialogue, but that Squiggle Vision gave it a little bit of panache that made it come to life. It was also used in Ed, Edd n Eddy and home movies. But because it's so low production value, it's not distracting. There's not going to be a whole lot of crazy visual effects or fast things moving across the screen. All of the tone, in addition to the rest of the dialogue, stays very consistent and very low key, making it super soothing and super relaxing to watch.
What do you think of this sweater? I mean, is this good? Is this a fun look for me?
Well, it's fun for me.
Better in or out?
But that goes hand in hand with the plots of each episode, and every episode of Dr. Katz is dull as hell. Like nothing interesting happened in the show whatsoever. It's a slice of life show that follows the adventures of Ben, Dr. Katz, and Laura, but all of the scenarios, they're so humdrum and ordinary, like Ben getting a job at a bakery, or him finding his old stuffed doll that happened to be in the trash can.
You know Bully is my favorite stuffed animal. It has been since I was 2. How do you let this happen?
Well, let me ask you something, Ben. When was the last time you spent any time with Bully? If it's your favorite stuffed animal.
Oh, that's none of your business.
The interactions between Ben and Dr. Katz are mostly improv, and these scenarios are just set up to let them bounce off of each other. And you can tell they just like sat down in a booth, started gabbing for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then just cut out the best bits. But those best bits are so good. Now, the other part of the show is stand-up comedy, with Conan O'Brien and all these other big-time stand-up comedians coming on and doing little bits from their act. And they are also very low-key. It's very rare for you to find someone that's yelling and screaming all that much.
I bought a donut and they gave me a receipt for the donut.
Right.
I don't need a receipt for a donut, man. I give you the money, you give me the donut. End of transaction. We don't need to bring ink and paper into this. I just cannot imagine a scenario where I would have to prove that I bought a donut. Some skeptical friend, don't even act like I didn't get that donut, man. I got the documentation right here.
But the way these comedians do their delivery is not like their regular stand-up specials. They conform to the show, and as a result, they fit right in. In many ways, Dr. Katz was the first ever podcast. Totally dialogue-driven. You can watch the visuals or not watch the visuals. You're not going to lose anything either way, and you just feel so warm. I think that's the best way to summarize an episode of Dr. Katz, is it's warm and it's fuzzy. Whatever you're going through, in those moments, it doesn't really matter because this show serves as a respite. And if you look at typical TV shows now, or even back then, so many of them are fast-paced, so many of them are like vying for your attention, right? They're screaming, they're yelling, they're shouting, they're doing all these things, and Dr. Katz kind of goes in the opposite direction. It doesn't really care about impressing you, it just cares about having a good time.
I don't think I got paid yet. Did you?
Right.
I'm getting paid right for yesterday, and
Take these coconut pastries.
this is what I get paid? Coconut pastries?
You know what? You're right. Here, have some donuts, too.
You know, Steve, I'm not taking your bakery payola. I want the money.
You drive a hard bargain. Here's a 12-grain loaf of my favorite bread.
Can you put that in a bag?
Absolutely.
Then you've got the voices themselves. H. John Benjamin, also known as Coach McGurk, and Dr. Jonathan Katz, also was on home movies. I mean, these are the two greatest voice actors of all time, and they basically had the same two voices for their entire careers. There's only about 3 or 4 main characters in the show to begin with, and this strong main cast gives you this sense of familiarity with them. You know Benny Boy inside and out. You know Dr. Katz inside and out. There's no complex character development. There's no overarching plot that you have to be aware of to enjoy an an episode. It's just dry humor, it's chill, and man, it hits the spot every time. You can watch every episode for free on YouTube. I put a link in the pinned comment, and if that doesn't work, just type in Dr. Katz episode, you'll find it. I hope you enjoy it, man. This is like one of my favorite shows of all time, and it deserves more love. It deserves more affection, and I hope you enjoy it.
I find you looking at me sometimes in a very leering manner.
That's a defect. That's a palsy in my. I was in an accident, and I leer now.
I don't believe you. I think that you're a pervert.